I think we can agree on two things. Getting shot sucks, and Maryland was a 10.
Facts. Agreed.
What's something wrong with America today?
The two-party system is dog shit. I've been telling you guys.
Would you be left or right in today's politics?
I'd be straight up with all those hot goth mommies y'all have nowadays, if you know what I mean.
How do I fix the current problems in this country?
Honestly, and you know I like honesty, I have no fucking idea.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the following program. I am your host, Joe Nierman, aka Good Lawgic. That's right. Tonight, I know I said I'm starting at 8 o'clock, and it's not 8 o'clock, at least in this part of the world that I am currently situated in. And I meant this part of the world. I didn't mean in like wherever the Cornhuskers play. I meant here. I'm sorry. I am really sorry. That's on me. I am going to be trying to do 8 p.m., if not earlier, on a more regular basis. But this is why you need to be signed up in local, so you get like alerts. What time is Joe going tonight? Is it an early show? Is it a late show? Is it a late show? That's why. And then you can find it at goodlogic.locals.com. Now, I also, from time to time, bring in here a co-host to sort of help me out, help things like sort of run along there. But I'm going to be like, and I know that there's criticism I've gotten, but I think I'm better at this. I'm better at interacting now, even when I'm getting distracted by my good friend over here, Jim Satala from Jim Tells You.
How you doing, everybody? Nice to see you. Glad to be back.
Yes, welcome back, Jim. It's great to see you as always. So the one thing I didn't have a chance to talk to you about yet is your thoughts about what's going on. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about this. That's why it's not in there. But I do want to just ask you off the bat, what are your thoughts about the whole Epstein thing?
I don't know. I think he's still alive, living on an island.
Oh, yeah? Do you think?
No, but didn't Trump say something about Epstein, about this guy just can't die?
Remember
that truth he put out? This Epstein guy just won't die.
He just can't die.
He just can't die. It's is he alive? What's going on? Is this some secret message that people are saying? So I don't know.
No, I didn't go with the Elmo thing. Personally, I didn't think the Elmo thing was that funny. I know Vince, what's his face from PBD Content did a whole thing with Elmo. I don't know. I was like,
Yeah, that was in one of the videos I put in there.
I was like, I don't know. I didn't go with that. But so what I wanted to ask you was but about the whole Trump handling it and his message.
He's handling it wrong. He's doing it wrong. He's trying to protect somebody. I don't think he's trying to protect himself. But he's being told that he needs to protect somebody. It's either other foreign heads of state. Could he actually be over the royal family? I don't know. Over Prince Andrew. It really could. I don't know why, but
the royal family. I think the royal family really alienated Prince Andrew over this.
Yeah, but they still don't want it all coming out. They still want to try and keep it not coming out. I don't know. It's bad messaging completely. They need to just bite the bullet and get it out and just say, let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we're going to get anything from this?
I think eventually it's going to come out. I don't think
before or after the next election.
Oh, it's going to come out before the next election because the Democrats now are beating the drum.
So So this year or in 2026?
Yeah, this year. It's just July. I think it's coming out. This year.
See, I don't know that there is much to come out. Did you see a video I put out today on X? I put out a video? I did.
I did not know.
Yeah, I see. None of you knew. I really should have. It was a 3-minute video. It was a 3-minute video where I was should I share the video with you? You want to see?
Sure, put it up. Yeah. Let's see it.
I'll pull it up real quick here for you, so you all can see something that I put together today. And And yeah, where is it? It was just a little 3-minute thing where I was basically addressing Kash Patel. And this is what I said here. The outrage that MAGA has been expressing toward President Trump and his administration for the last week to 10 days over the Epstein debacle is not because they came out and told us that the evidence that they have indicates that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself, nor is it because they said that the evidence they have indicates that there was no client list. Most of us were sufficiently savvy to recognize that deep state puppets like Merrick Garland and Chris Wray were likely to destroy any incriminating evidence relating to third parties before you guys would get in there. So we're not surprised by that. We're not upset with that. What's so upsetting is your refusal to do something that Kash Patel said long before he became head of the FBI, and that was to be cops. Go out there and be cops. So the file that you have has nothing in it? Boo-hoo. Go out there and be cops. Go talk to Alex Acosta, prosecutor who signed that non-prosecution agreement and that sweetheart deal and said that he felt pressure because of Epstein's ties to intelligence communities. Find out what it is that he was told. Go get a court order. Alan Dershowitz has his hand in the air swearing to God that there's an Epstein list, that he's seen it. He knows names on it. He says he can't talk to you because of attorney-client privilege. Well, go get a court order saying his client is dead and directing him to talk to you. It's not that hard. It's not just him. It's his entire legal team there. There's Lefkowitz and other attorneys who all likely know names on the list. Go after Sarah Kellen. Many people may not know who she is, but she was basically Ghislaine Maxwell 2.0. She was running the same role. She's never even been prosecuted yet. Go turn on her. Go prosecute her in the Southern District of New York. Whatever MPA immunity she would have gotten in the Southern District of Florida is not going to apply to her in New York the same way it didn't help shield Ghislaine Maxwell. And then you can use that to pressure her, to start telling you lists of names, who was involved, when, where, dates. It's not that hard.
There was other people on that list, right? That was on his first plea. There was a list of names of people who got immunity.
I believe.
Go after them.
My recollection is that they specifically named Maxwell and Sarah Kellen and
I thought it was like 4 or 5 names.
Any other potential co-conspirators. See, some people saw it. There you go. Some people saw this. I only got another 40 seconds left.
Investigations back in 2007, the first time they got Epstein. Go talk to the other investigators who put together the file in 2019. Go to the original source. Be cops. Be cops. You can't undo the bumbling message that came out about this story, basically going back to February of this year.
I'm not spending a lot of time on Epstein. I'm going to be spending like 5 minutes on this.
That cannot be undone. That can't be forgotten. That gets forgotten if you actually start getting indictments. If you actually say we're actively pursuing this, that we will be undeterred, and that we're going to give you the results of this investigation. That's what we are demanding. That's what we're asking for. Be cops. Just be cops.
And that was the whole message. Just be cops. Just be cops. I left out there that you can obviously talk to the victims. Who forced themselves on you? Who did just talk to the victims? Tell us. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. The investigation has already been built for them if they're so inclined, and it feels frustrating that they refuse to actually do anything. And I'll tell you something: if they're not willing to be cops on this, I want a special prosecutor to find out why the hell they're not willing to do this. I want them looked at. I want Trump looked at.
Who would you like to see as a special prosecutor?
Honestly, the one guy who I think is so good at this stuff is Andrew Bailey. I am such a huge Andrew Bailey fan.
I was thinking either Ed Martin or Matt Gaetz.
Yeah, there's a lot of names. There's a lot of names that could potentially work. It's crazy. It's crazy. And today he's doubling and tripling down. Like I said, I'm not spending a lot of time talking about this. I'm waiting basically until I hit.
Trump is great at a lot of stuff, but man, when he makes unforced errors, he just doesn't want to give it up sometimes
and rolls around in it. It's like it's like
he's like the dog, the dog that steps into other dogs' poop and then it gets it on it and it does. You're like, no, stop, and it just keeps rolling in it and it's like, stop. It's just getting everywhere.
Stop. Yes, just stop. And I know that you're saying Dershowitz has a gag order by the judge. Different. You can get that. You can apply to have that overturned. You can apply. The government can apply to have that gag order overturned. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So even if his client is dead and it's not an attorney-client privilege thing, you can get the gag order overturned. Have the judge justify why it is that they still have a gag order all these years later. It doesn't make sense. Best coverage for all things. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Lacey. Member for 13 months. Awesome. You get the loud horn. And Master Phillips gifting 5 Good Logic memberships. That is the king of recruitment. There you go. Welcome to the following. Who do you bring in here? Let me get that real fast.
Something wrong with America today.
Who'd you bring to us? Oh, I forgot to put my poll. Every thumbs up subscription is another vote to chase down Epstein, folks. There you go. What did I want to do here? Yes. Who did he bring in here? That's what I want to check. Who did you bring to the following? Who are they? The following 5 people brought into the following courtesy of our king of recruitment. That would include you, Vanessa. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, all the marbles, and Sandra, and Kathleen, and Jacker's girl. Welcome to the following. If you're new to the following, which some of you may be, please be aware that the following is not at all a cult type of cult. And even though it's got a name that I recognize sounds a little culty, it's just a gathering of like-minded individuals who come together for community, unity, learning, and thinking. But not at all a cult type of cult. So thank you so much for gifting them, and please express your gratitude to the king of recruitment, who's awesome as always. That would be Master Phillips. So thank you so much for that. This gentleman right here. Anyhow, I want to share with you just to put a bow as to how he's digging his heels in. We're talking about, Jim and I were talking about how Trump will roll around in it. It's like everything he's saying on this just makes it worse.
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency in the Epstein case. Do you agree with her, sir?
The Attorney General's handled that very well.
So Lara Trump came out yesterday and said there's going to be more transparency. There's going to be drops. That's what she told Benny Johnson. There's going to be more drops. So he's being asked.
She's going to run for Senate in North Carolina.
No, and I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's what she's doing.
I'm fine with that. But here he is answering the question as to whether he agrees with Lara Trump about more transparency here.
She's really done a very good job. And I think that when you look at it,
he's talking about Pam Bondi now doing a really good job.
You'll understand that. I would like to see that also. But I think the Attorney General, the credibility is very important. And you want credible evidence for something like that. And I think the Attorney General has handled it very well.
How many more states? The Attorney General briefed you on the DOJ and FBI review, the findings of that review. The Attorney General briefed you on that.
What? On the
DOJ and FBI
on what?
review.
On what subject?
Epstein. Okay. On Epstein, of the review of the files. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
A very quick briefing.
Did she tell you, what did she tell you about the review? And specifically, did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No. She's given us just a very quick briefing, and in terms of the credibility of the different things that they've seen. And I would say that, these files were made up by Comey, they were made up by Obama, they were made up by the Biden, we went through years of that with the Russia hoax, with all of the different things that we had to go through. We've gone through years of it, but she's handled it very well. And it's going to be up to her. Whatever she thinks is credible, she should release. Yeah.
No. She hasn't handled it well at all. There are other things she's handled pretty well, but not this. I mean, we have to give credit where it's due. I know everyone's screaming for her head over this Epstein thing. We have to give credit where it's due. She's like 65-0 fighting these injunctions. Like they haven't lost on any of them.
No, they've been doing good. Yeah,
they've been doing really great. There was another win that came out yesterday, where, you know, now he's able to fire his whole Department of Education. And, you know, I hope they play just recordings of him going, "You're fired, to one after another.
The State Department one was awesome when they were walking other people out and they're clapping and crying and stuff. And I'm like, I would fire all the people that are standing. I'm like, wait, you had time? You're supposed to be working and you had time to stand here and clap people out? You're fired too. Obviously, we don't need you.
We don't, yeah, you're telling us that you're a waste of time. By the way, do you notice the new lighting I have in here? It's
what's going on?
You're wondering about that, huh?
Yeah, what do you got going on there?
Yeah, I got a whole new lighting setup here, which I am so in love with. I'm up in the Catskills now. So
I thought that was like a fake background.
Oh, it is. This is virtual reality. What you're seeing here,
okay.
this is that's
okay.
It's a virtual reality. Yeah, that's not real. No. Okay. I don't put on airs. Okay. It's a lot better than the blank wall behind me. It's a lot more visually appealing. And part of being, you know, a YouTube podcaster is you want the overall vibe to be appealing. So that's why I
thought you were in your mountain retreat.
I am in my mountain retreat, but my mountain retreat doesn't have a view quite like this. But but now I have a new lighting system in here where I've got like these different lights coming at me from different angles where I just feel as if I have much healthier glow. And I think it's gonna be more consistent also, because sometimes I notice my lighting will fade in and out. I mean, this is despite the hat, because with the hat, which is part of the branding, that's something that like ends up, the bill of the hat ends up casting shadows, and it's not always, I feel like wherever I'm going to move here, all I'm going to have is this mic issue, which is going to be an issue because this mic is meant to have bad stills taken of me. I get it. I understand it, but it is a great mic. And but aside from this mic casting shadows, I feel like the whole lighting situation is much better.
I prefer to have my mic up above like this.
And I appreciate every anti-Semitic joke you can come up with, as long as they're good. As long as they're good. When they're good, if it's a good anti-Semitic joke, I'm totally fine with it. When they're not, then it's just like, and it's a risky road. It's a risky road because then you're like, no, I swear, even though it was a terrible joke, I don't hate the Jews, but I know Gene. Gene's cool. Gene's awesome. Anyhow, so. My take on it is,
you don't think that it's Sauer and Blanche and them guys getting the wins at the SCOTUS as opposed to Sauer? And
if they were getting losses, you would be blaming her. So even though she's not the one in the courtroom who's doing it, she's putting the right people in there. And
Solicitor General, I thought does that.
But chooses who it is that's going to fight these things.
The Solicitor General does the arguing, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, I mean it depends on. I mean, I'm not sure how they decide who it is that handles particular cases that comes up, especially when they're coming up in this jurisdiction, that jurisdiction. I'm not sure how. My point is that you always would credit the manager of the team for doing something well, and this is something that the team, the DOJ, has been doing very well, and she's definitely the manager. So you have to give her. You have to give her props on that and say, you know, other people may not have done as well. That doesn't mean that she hasn't completely screwed the pooch on this Epstein thing in ways that make that analogy unsettling. But that was just really, really just terrible. And it looks as if there's no end to it. It looks as if there's really no end. And here's a recommendation that comes from Mike Benz as to how she can hopefully perhaps start to remedy this. So let's check this out, courtesy of Jim.
The very last piece we have on this was a formal investigation done by the Justice Department Office of Professional Responsibility, which was supposed to put this to bed. It's a 348-page report. The only disclosure that they have asking Alex Acosta about the intelligence question was a random footnote, one footnote. It's footnote 244 on page 169. And they asked him if he had knowledge that Acosta was, quote, an intelligence asset. And this is all a summary description, by the way. They don't give the transcript. And they said, Acosta told us the answer to that question is no. But we don't know what exactly they asked about this. And Epstein wouldn't have a 201 file on it. You can belong to intelligence without being a formal asset. I did a study recently of 10 financial fixers that the CIA had used to fix financing for various deals. 8 out of the 10 folks never had never had a 201 file, never were formally classified as assets. But there will still be traffic in the intelligence records. And we need to know if the Justice Department even asked, because they tried to put this story to bed by saying, oh, we did this OPR report and Alex Acosta walked back what he.
Why is it we reliant on this? Why not just drag his butt in before the DOJ and have him answer questions? It's like what's he dead? Is he living in Guam? How is it that we can't get this guy? He's the former head of the Labor Department, for crying out loud, under Trump. That appointment also makes Trump look terrible. Makes Trump look terrible. If Trump
kind of makes Trump look like he's connected to this somehow.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. Like if Trump was Jewish, they would say, see, another Israel thing. He appointed Alex Acosta.
Yeah.
They'd be saying that. How it's Mossad. Oh my God. Yeah. I hope no Jew ever becomes president. I really do. I really hope that no Jew ever becomes president. I know I'm like the opposite of like the most irreligious Jews, like have this dream of seeing, the first Jewish president. And I pray that it never happens, because that would just be a terrible, terrible thing. It'd be so terrible. So yeah, I don't understand why it is that we have to look at a transcript of what Alex Costa said and stuff like that. This is what we need to do. No, I want him basically to come out and make a public statement. That's what I want. Have him make a public statement as to what he knows. That's what I'd love to see. Have him answer questions. Why can't we get him out there and have him make a public statement as to what his position is as to any involvement? Have him give a 30-minute press briefing. That's what I want. That's what I want. Alex Costa
said to the Trump transition team, or what he contradicted Vicky Ward's reporting. Well, we don't know that because we never got the transcript. We got a one-line summary description buried in the 244th footnote. Now, that OPR investigation is totally sweeping. All of the audio files, all of the transcripts, all of the interviews can be made public. Now, OPR reported directly to Bill Barr. Bill Barr was the CIA's mop-up man for Iran-Contra. He started his career in the CIA. The Washington Post called him the CIA's fall guy because he blocked disclosures of CIA files. It's very possible that the intelligence angle could have been buried by Bill Barr himself. So in that OPR investigation, get all of Bill Barr's email traffic, because they deleted Alex Acosta's emails on this. What that report showed was an 11-month data gap. Mysterious technological glitch that ate all of the Justice Department, DOJ.gov emails of Alex Acosta starting May 2007, the very month that the FBI wanted to arrest Jeffrey Epstein, and then Alex Acosta stepped in to stop it. We need the full details of that November 2020 report. Pam Bondi, you can walk down the hallway tonight and get those files and make them public.
That's true. That's true.
Did you hear anything? I saw something the other day, someone saying something about that somehow Epstein was interconnected with Iran-Contra.
I didn't hear that.
Somehow some money that was paid out went through some of his holdings or something.
I didn't hear that. Although I did have someone walk me through how he got his money, like the different scams that he was involved in, which this one netted him 150 million and the next one netted him 200 million. And basically, if you do all the math, like it comes out to how he would have made $500 or $600 million through different scams. One of the business dealings seemed kind of legitimate, but it was designed to tell me that no, his bank account wasn't stuffed full by some intelligence agency, but that it was actually, something that he managed to steal, earn, steal. And that I shouldn't think it was because of blackmail or anything of that kind. It was, the source over here is Stealth Medical. She hosts a lot of spaces, and she gives information so fast and with so many like givens thrown into it that like I never feel equipped to debate her on it, and I don't know that she's wrong. It's just almost it's too much information that comes at me for me to really digest it properly. So I always ask her to send me stuff, and she often does, but then it's like I feel like I have like 6 books to read before I can it's a little bit overwhelming that trying to go through the finances. I'm a lawyer. I'm not I have a finance major. I can understand things, but I never wanted to get into finance in that kind of way. And yes, I am Jewish, even though you would think that finance would be my gig, but it's not. Did Trump delete Epstein? He died in jail during his administration. I don't think so.
Here,
I
this
don't
is what
think so.
I saw. If you want to pull this up.
They say he's got nothing. They say he has. There's so many agencies which seem to be acting completely outside his scope of his control that I really would be very surprised by that. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney General, wouldn't have any communication issues on the Epstein file. But how do we get his confirmation to the Senate? We can only dare to dream. Phoenix Wright, I got to get my hands on that. It's coming. No, he's not. I know some people have. Every time they want to tie it into Trump. They, like the Jews to Trump, they'll bring up his son-in-law and they'll be like, well, Jared Kushner, everyone knows that he's a Jew and he's corrupt and he's this and this. It's like, stop. Just so it's like how desperately can you stretch? We need a Jew for president. It's the only way we can cut them. Perhaps. Perhaps. Trump's handling of Epstein files will result in midterm loss. He continues to praise Bondi and dismiss the Epstein files. I think that you're not going on a limb when you expect to lose in the midterms only because traditionally, whoever's holding the White House loses. The question is how bad a loss, how brutal a loss should we anticipate? And I would agree that if this is not remedied, a lot of MAGA is going to basically sit out the midterms and it will be brutal. It will be. So it can be catastrophic. So, yeah. He continues to praise Bondi and dismiss the Epstein files. And it's very disheartening. It's very disheartening. My friend Diligent Denizen is spending, 6-10 hours a day just railing. Like he's not letting go on this. And I sort of feel like I was supposed to spend 5 minutes here and I end up we're 27 minutes in. So I want to move along from this. I want to get into.
I did have something pulled up though, if you want to just look at this real quick.
Okay, let me share that. Let me share that up here. Jeffrey Epstein monitored by CIA since 1983 as a financial fixer for Adnan Khashoggi's in Iran Contra arms deal. I don't want to get into this. This feels like a thread that I'm going to start pulling, and the next thing I know, I'm going to.
That's what I said. I started looking at it the other day, and I was like, wait, what? He was involved in Iran Contra?
This feels like if I start pulling this thread, I'm going to spend an hour and a half on it. So
no worries.
If you could share the link with me on X or email,
I'll put it. I'll start you on. Yeah, I'll give it to you on X. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, because if I start with this, it's just going to be out of control. What I really want to get into is I want to start talking about is what's going on with respect to Adam Schiff. So did you heard about Adam Schiff? You heard of?
Oh, I heard that he's like just as bad as Big Tish James with the mortgage fraud.
He's having problems. He's having serious problems. I'm trying to pull up the link here for which one I wanted to go to first. I guess we can start with this one. We'll start with Trump. We'll start with Trump on this. This is what Trump shared out on Truth Social. I've always suspected Shifty Adam Schiff was a scam artist, and now I learn that Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division have concluded that Adam Schiff has engaged in a sustained pattern of possible mortgage fraud. Oh, no! Adam Schiff said that his primary residence was in Maryland to get a cheaper mortgage and rip off America when he must live in California because he was a congressman from California. That's true. I always knew Adam Schiff was a crook. The fraud began with the refinance of his Maryland property on February 6, 2009, and continued through multiple transactions until the Maryland property was correctly designated as a second home on October 13, 2020. Mortgage fraud is very serious, and crooked Adam Schiff, now a senator, needs to be brought to justice. Bring justice. Go get him, Pam. Go get him. Now, I think this does tie in a little bit to Epstein. I think it's very possible that Trump probably feels like I need wins. I need red meat for my base. And if I can get an indictment of Adam Schiff, that'll get his base to let go on the Epstein thing and politically be very, and I think it would have a dramatic impact. I think that if that's what he's thinking, which is logical, it's a smart thought process. There's logic there to taking that approach, right?
Definitely.
I mean, that would be red meat for the base if, in fact, that happened, because the base doesn't like Adam Schiff. There's a lot of animus there toward him, and well earned. He spent a lot of time trying to make us hate him, and so we do. This is Newsmax report on it that I had. So President Donald Trump announced Fannie Mae's Financial Crimes Division has evidence of Senator Adam Schiff committing mortgage fraud, a claim that he's also levied against New York Democratic Attorney General Letitia James. Now, to be clear, the reason it's worse for Adam Schiff, do you know why it's worse for Adam Schiff than Letitia James? They both
he already did something with the ethics committee, like told him
on
he had
this
to stop.
issue.
On this issue, yeah.
Yes, that's a very. It might seem like that's a nice little feather in the cap to help nail him. It's not simply a feather in the cap. It's a big deal. It's a big deal because when he's already been exposed, a lot of times when lawyers who may dance around certain issues or whatever, when they get busted one time and then they get a slap on the wrist, it's like everyone's like, okay, that really wasn't right. Be more careful about that. When they then repeat the same violation, the punishment tends to be a lot firmer, because it's almost as if you're just completely ignoring the repercussions and you're almost laughing at us. It's almost like there's an offense that's taken from it. So the fact that he was called out by Congress, censured by Congress for having this happen once before, and then continues to do it, shows a willfulness to his activity, which is likely to have a graver impact on whatever penalties he would face in a criminal court than if it's like, oh, this slipped under my radar, I didn't know what I was doing, and it was just reported the same way time after time. And, and the punishment would likely be far more lax if he was ever convicted of this crime. But because of the fact that he's actually been censured, the idea to censuring him is to put him on notice, hey, don't let this crap continue. And yet it's still continuing. That shows a willfulness which often will lead in a fair court to a much harsher perspective when it comes to actually issuing punishment. So, and that's really right. It's basically and effectively it's an FU to Congress when he's they censure him. He's like, I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it. That's what it is. So, release the files 3 months before the midterms. I don't think there are files though. I think they have to do digging. I think they have to be cops. I think that's why. Here's what I threw out there. I wanted to get away from Epstein. I know you put this out there 5 minutes ago before I transitioned over to it, so it's not your fault. It was pre-transition, so we'll detonate the stream. The theory I threw out there, because he keeps talking about this being a hoax from Biden and Obama. The theory I throw out there is perhaps when they got in there, what they did not expect to find was files which basically were designed to imagine. What would you do? I'll ask you this question. Think about this for a second. Okay. You're Donald Trump. Jim,
Mhm.
I need you to focus here with me. Focus here with me for a minute.
Okay. I'm Donald Trump.
Each of you at home can play along with this concept that just sort of popped into my head today. And there are potential flaws in the thought, but just for the sake of experiment, just to think about this possibility. If you're a Democrat and you despise Donald Trump because you're a Democrat, and you see Donald Trump is coming in here, and you know one issue that he's made a big deal about is that he's going to release the files. What would you do if you're Merrick Garland and Chris Wray and you really wanted to screw him over?
Start sticking people's names in the files.
Yeah. You take out all the incriminating evidence of other folks and you start like building up cases to basically name Trump himself, even if Trump hadn't spoken to him 3 years earlier. But the point is, he has to be able to disprove it. And so now you put in Trump and you put in other family members or relatives or business or longtime associates of Trump, friends, donors, whatever, and you basically jam that into the file. So you have, let's say, half a dozen, or more different documents which help point to different people just for the purpose of putting Trump in a position where now he's stuck. You either release the files, or you and then start saying they're garbage, or you don't release the files and have your base get angry at you. If that is in fact what they did, that's a brilliant strategy, no?
Yeah, it is. And do you think it's possible that they're waiting with the files, the whole files, that if Trump releases partial files and takes the stuff out, they'll be like, oh no, that's not the right files. You didn't release it all.
Maybe.
It's like catch-22.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. Maybe. I didn't even think of that part of it. Yeah. So then if you're Trump, that's why he'd be saying this is a Biden-Obama hoax, because he figures Obama's the one who's running Biden's administration, and that this whole thing is just a Merrick Garland Biden hoax that was designed to try and embarrass him. So stop talking about it because I'm tired of hearing about this. And that would explain a lot of the bizarre comments that he made on Truth Social and this whole thing here, and why it is he would be trying to clamp this down. Now, the flaw in this is he could have come out there and said, there's nothing in that file that is usable to indict people, and that's why I'm telling Pam Bondi to go out there and be cops. That's what he could have done.
The only problem I have with that scenario about them stuffing these other names and all this stuff is this is July. They should have known this in February.
Yep.
They should have been like, in February, and they should have came right out in February and said, this is what they did.
Yeah.
If they would have came right out in February and said, hey, they screwed us, they put these names in here, this is what they did, then none of this would have happened. It would have been
the reason they wouldn't tell us that is because as soon as he comes out and says that, you have the entire left screaming, we knew it, he's on the Epstein list. That's what they'd be screaming. He's claiming it's fraudulent. Show us it so we can see for ourselves. That's why he can't tell us that. He wouldn't be able to tell us that. And that explains why he'd be referring to it as a hoax. But you're right. It's sloppy that they didn't come out with this in February. Instead, the bungling early on put them in a position now where they look really bad on this. And the other thing is, why not go out there and say, I'm tasking Pam Bondi, put together a special task force to look into this. And that way people will be like, oh, and just say, look, everything was deleted. There's nothing usable there. And that's why we're going to be making our own file. And that would have made MAGA perfectly happy, a little disappointed, but, they would, instead of coming out there and saying, there is no lists. There was, as if there was nothing illicit going on. How do you know there was nothing illicit going on? How can you possibly know that? So that's what I think is. And here it is. I got pulled back into talking about Epstein.
Yeah. Every time we get out, they pull us back in.
I'd like to know how many other members of Congress have taken advantage of this. Maybe a deeper look at Eye Patch McCain. It's probably he's referring now to the same scandal as Schiff, because we were talking about Schiff. How many others have basically been engaging in this whole double residence thing? It's a good question. It's a good question. They're all crooked. Shekels for Jim. There you go. Good logic. Biden had all the files. If they could have used it to beat Trump, they would have. It wasn't there. I totally agree with you on that. I totally agree with you. That's the best evidence of it of all. If there was anything there that was usable, they definitely would have gone after him. I mean, come on. And if not, shame on them. Why didn't you? Why didn't you? And that's something that, you can always yell at Biden about. I think I still want to keep putting pressure on them. But there is a portrayal as if he's like far worse than the Biden administration. And I think that that's really a little bit losing focus. We must keep putting pressure on them and screaming for that list. I'm totally fine with that. But I almost feel as if some people have taken it to a point where they refuse to acknowledge the winning, and focusing on what this disaster here. And that's not to excuse the disaster or to say we should let the disaster go. While we want him to remedy this disaster, I'm simply saying it's not really. It does make us almost feel as if this entire thing was a complete waste, and I think that that's unfortunate. Pam kind of did that when she put out NY FBI was hiding crap. Couldn't just appoint a special prosecutor, but let's move on to DOE getting fired. Oh yeah, the Department of Education getting fired. That is wonderful. That is wonderful. But let's get back into this Newsmax coverage here. So about Schiff.
One quick question though.
Yeah.
If they call Ghislaine Maxwell to Congress to testify, can she plead the fifth since she's already convicted or no?
To testify? Can she plead the fifth? Well, yeah, I think she could because there are other crimes that theoretically she could be implicating herself for. So I do think that she could.
Okay.
What are you going to do if she says no? I'm not answering any questions.
I think she wants to go testify. That's the point. Is I think she's been making noise about wanting to. She's saying she wants to spill her guts now.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think she wants to come out. Also, I think that's, but I think she's hoping that she can work in some sort of plea deal that she's hoping is gonna, actually reduce her sentence. And I would be very stingy in giving her back anything. Basically, telling her what do you have? What can you give us that Sarah Kellen couldn't give us? If anything, a lot of stuff you might give us is perhaps beyond statute of limitations. So, did you understand? You understand how the whole statute of limitations things work, even though there's no statute of limitations anymore?
It's confusing to me about statute because either they some things have statute of limitations, like Congress lying to Congress is what 5 years statute of limitations.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's specifically with respect to these crimes because we're done talking about Epstein. But I really want everyone to understand this. Okay, there were a whole bunch of extensions of statute of limitations in this area, which happened in 2000, 2005, 2015, different times that there were extensions. Okay, depending on which statute you're talking about, that they say no longer are we going to have a 10-year statute of limitations. Instead, we're going to have a lifetime abolishing the statute of limitations to go back in it forever. You would think that since they abolished it, that now you can go back to any crime that happened in the early in the 1970s. That's what you would think. But that's just not the way the law operates. The law operates that the old statute of limitations can serve to sever and cut off people who were before the statute of limitations. So let's assume that on January 1st, this new statute of limitations, they say the Congress passes a law saying we have this statute, which has a 10-year statute of limitations, but we're going to basically say as of 2005, there's no longer a statute of limitations. That was January 1st, 2005. Well, the way it works is, so now there was a 10-year statute of limitations. So we basically say you're not able to resurrect a case that was dead by changing the statute of limitations. If there was a case that was dead, you can't just resurrect it now. So basically, anything that had died as of 2005 remains dead. There's no resurrecting it. So that's why if someone was doing the same violation, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, you can go after them for the stuff that they did in 95, potentially 96, 97, 98. And then what we say is that 10-year statute of limitations gets extended out to 20 years or forever in this case, because since you could have been charged on the date that it changed, we're basically going to apply this new statute of limitations to you. But if you could not have been charged on the date that this extension happened, then it was dead already. And since it was dead already, you cannot resurrect those charges for those activities. And this came up a lot during the Ghislaine Maxwell trial because there was an overlap there where the extension ended up helping to nab her for stuff because she's being charged in 2021 for stuff that happened ages ago. So they basically said, oh, okay, let's look at the statute you're charging. And it was extended out in 2005. So we're going to go back to 1995 and we're going to say anything that she did after 1995 was still alive when this was extended out. And that's why it affected her statute of limitations and she could still be charged for it. But stuff that she did in 1992, even if it was far more evil, the statute of limitations ran for her in 2002 and could not be resurrected in 2005. So that's why they have those different cutoff periods, and it really depends on which statute you're talking about. It's an important little wrinkle in the law that a lot of people struggle with. So that's why I wanted to walk people through that. Yeah. Joe, did not have a grand jury and was in custody, so the evidence would have been held and secured. So where's that evidence? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know. Although that evidence really could have been tied into his first person activities and not based on his third person activities. Meaning that could have been the girls that he brought into his place in Palm Beach and not really tied in so much to his activities where he's honeypotting for other people. So it's not certain that would be helpful, but there was certainly some research done on it. You would think. Schiff he's not a good Jewish man. He's not a good. Stop it. Dems are all over the Epstein thing because they really don't have anything else. Trump has rolled them over on everything. It's true, and that's why it makes it so horrible that he blew this up because he resurrected that party. Can you guys say that I'm on the what? That you're on the Epstein list so that your relatives start caring about you? I'm not on anybody's list. I want to be on
the list.
I had a whole bunch of rants that came in earlier that I didn't get to. Pinochet says, Joe, as I mentioned this months ago, pretend you're a defense attorney. Your client is an Epstein associate. If the USAG asks for files and does not get everything, then finds out Southern District of New York is withholding evidence, what does a defense attorney immediately do? Is that evidence not forever born as fruit of a poisonous tree? So let's think this through. I'm a defense attorney. My client is, let's say, Prince Andrew. The USAG asks for files and does not get everything, then finds out the Southern District of New York is withholding evidence. What does a defense attorney immediately do? Is that evidence? I wouldn't say it's born as fruit of a poisonous tree, but I do think that they'll bring it up and say, what happened to the files? Maybe the old files that are gone from the government were exculpatory for my client. That's how I think this would play out ultimately. I mean, but they don't care about justice. People did this. Breck Nichols, Joe, how come you never say my name? Oh, never mind. Breck Nichols is not on the list. His name is one name. I don't know why. Whenever I call out a rant or a super chat, I always call out his name every time. I happen to like saying Breck Nichols. Breck Nichols. It's a fun name to say. Try it. Say it.
Breck Nichols.
There you go. See, it's a fun name to say.
Mm-hmm.
Told you. You can do it again if you want. You don't have
Nichols.
to.
Brett Nichols. Brett Nichols.
It's fun. Malcolm says, I think RICO for crimes far back can go past statute of limitations if the latest act in the conspiracy by someone in the organization occurred within that window. No, I think you have to get activity that was within the window. If you don't have that, you can't. I don't think that extends back, but I don't I don't know, because I remember in the RICO charges for Diddy, I think that they were trying to get him on things that were within the statute of limitations. That's my recollection, but that one I'm less sure of. I don't want to don't take that as Joe weighing in as a lawyer. That's Joe weighing in as a guy who's thinking that it's one way and not really 100% sure. So, getting back to Schiff had thoughts. He had thoughts about this. He was not happy. Do you hear that?
You got the video? You got the video of Schiff?
Yeah, can you pull that up for me?
Yeah. You want me to pull it up or
no, share
right now. I can share it. Hold on.
Is that just the news? Is that what it is?
No. I got it right here. Hold on. I got Schiff's
response.
Yeah. Right there. I'm sharing it.
Let's go. Yeah.
So today, Trump posted this on social media, accusing me of crimes and saying that I needed to be brought to justice. This,
do me a favor. You know what? Let's just pause this for a second. Let me control it because I'm going to want to stop here and there. So if you can just give me the link,
okay.
I want to pull it up.
Hold on. Copy.
I
got it. I'm coming right now.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem. Coming in right now.
I forgot it was like almost 5 minutes long.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes long. It's long.
Yeah, he's rambling. The 5 minutes long tells you he's scared. Tells me he's scared.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back in here.
So today, Trump posted this on social media, accusing me of crimes and saying that I needed to be brought to justice. This in and of itself is not new. Trump has been threatening prosecution or jailing of me, accused me of various things over the years. But I want to put this in the context of not only his attacks on me, but also his attacks on other perceived political enemies and what it means for the rule of law.
The Fannie Mae said you were guilty. It's not him. He was reporting the news.
He's trying to misdirect to other people because he's got problems. He knows he's got problems.
He knows he has problems.
So for years, really beginning with my work on the investigation of Donald Trump connected to Russia, and then
which was a complete and total hoax,
connected to Ukraine, continuing through my leading his,
which was another ridiculous thing,
his first impeachment over his Ukraine misconduct. And for years now, Donald Trump has threatened to investigate me, prosecute me in various different ways, accused me falsely of engaging in a variety of crimes, the most serious of which he has repeated frequently ad nauseum, is accusing me of treason.
He should resign from office in disgrace. And frankly, they should look at him for treason.
The treason is for his Russian collusion hoax. That's what he was saying. Yeah. Because it was designed to disrupt the president from being able to act.
Of saying there is a way that we deal with people who are committing treason, or at least there has been in the past, and saying I should be jailed and prosecuted. So he's accused.
Which is, everything here was spot on, perfect claim from Trump.
Me of treason. He's also accused me of leaking classified information.
He has leaked classified information. I mean, everybody knows he's done that.
Wait, when was that?
He'd come out of the classified briefings and immediately start talking.
Press conference.
Yeah, have press conferences.
So far, he spent 1 minute and 22 seconds confessing to his crimes. Yeah. This jackass.
It's been basically one thing after another, all
that you've been doing.
All baseless, all without merit. A lot of his attacks are on social media, like this attack here, or this one here, or this one here.
Which one is inaccurate? Because everything he said, he throws them up really fast, so you don't have a chance to read them. My lawyer should sue the Democrats Shifty Schiff for fraud. Yeah, they should. Just another Shifty Schiff leak. Source familiar with House Intel briefing told CBS News yesterday briefers were pressed by lawmaker for evidence to back up the claim Russia trying to help. There you go. Another Shifty Schiff leak. This clown.
Or this one here. Some of them are during interviews where he calls for my prosecution or my arrest or accuses me of various crimes, like here.
And I'll tell you what, He should be forced to resign from Congress. Adam Schiff, he's a lowlife. He should be forced to resign.
That's right. He's attacking me during a joint press conference with another head of state. But it's
Can we just I'm just looking at this guy here.
Who is that?
This cannot be an elected official, right? Right? This cannot
It's a
be.
head of state, but I can't, because that's a Marine Corps and a Navy thing. So wouldn't that, it's got to be somebody from like maybe NATO?
Did he say head of state or hobbit of state?
He said, I don't know. I thought he said head of state, but it does look like the guy from Lord of the Rings.
It does, right?
Yeah, the guy who played Bilbo Baggins.
Yeah, he lived up for 111 years. This guy.
111 years old.
Yeah, no, okay. I have no idea who this guy is, and I don't know if he's actually the
I
head
think
of
it might
state.
be a NATO guy, maybe, because there's a Navy and Marine Corps flags there, so maybe it's a NATO guy.
Yeah.
state. But it's not just me. Over the years, Donald Trump has been attacking others, and now that he has a pliant Justice Department with Pam Bondi and other of his criminal defense lawyers running the Justice Department.
Now, when he said criminal defense lawyers, did he mean that his lawyers are criminals, or did he mean that they were his lawyers in his criminal defense?
I don't. He probably meant criminals. He probably meant they're criminals.
He probably meant criminals. Yeah.
Yeah. Because was she ever a criminal defense attorney? And how would that even be relevant in this setting that they had been criminal defense attorneys?
I don't
know. Yeah, that is what he's saying.
All kinds of political adversaries of various crimes. So they have suggested or referred to the Justice Department James Comey, the former FBI director, and accused him of, I'm not sure exactly what.
Because I don't read the news.
They've referred John Brennan to the Justice Department, the former director of the CIA. They have gone after Christopher Krebs. You'll remember Chris Krebs.
No one remembers
was
Chris
the
Krebs.
one who worked for the Cyber Information Security Agency and said that the 2020 election was the most secure in history. That
guy. That would make sense. Yeah, that would make sense.
Was his offense. So they've said that he's under investigation
because that was about as much BS as the whole ivermectin thing.
I mean, it's not like it's not like there's 150,000 ballots still under lock and key in Fulton County that they're trying to destroy without being looked at or something.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Which is true. There's a lawsuit that's going on, and the Supreme Court of Georgia has said you got to look at him, and the judge is refusing to look at him.
He's really scared. He spent 3 minutes here trying to say he's always attacking. He's really scared.
Security, and the list goes on. And the danger of this, of course, is not that these people will be successfully prosecuted without any evidence.
You might be.
But that they can be put to the difficulty of having to defend themselves.
Oh, all of a sudden the process is the punishment. Oh, look at that. What about 4 indictments, 91 charges against Trump? The process is the punishment. You jackass. You hypocritical son of a bitch.
Yeah, the woman who says it just happened in Bergdorf Gorbman's bathroom and whatever it was, and and it's sexy.
Unbelievable.
In the hope it will distract the public's attention from their malfeasance or make them pay a political cost or a personal cost for standing up to the president. And in the case of the present attack on me, the president has an additional motive, and that is Jeffrey Epstein. Basically,
he didn't say he's innocent. He hasn't said he's innocent. Yeah, he doesn't even try saying he's innocent.
The controversy of the Epstein files has dominated MAGA world, and the president needs a distraction, and I am a convenient distraction.
That's probably
okay.
I think that's true.
This stuff with Schiff's been going on before the Epstein files, though.
Yeah, that's true. It predates it. I think the timing of it came out really conveniently for Trump. So, like, the timing of the Fannie Mae conclusory report is convenient for Trump, and it's
convenient,
nice, but it is convenient. But that doesn't mean he didn't commit the crimes. It's like, and as Allegan News points out, he doesn't even say he's innocent. He's just like, wow, this is really helping him out.
So the president today is accusing me of fraud And the basis of his accusation is that I own a home in Maryland and I own.
No, the basis of accusation is that's what the Fannie Mae commission report says. So that's the basis. That's the actual basis.
A home in California. Big surprise. Members of Congress, almost all of them own more than one home or rent more than one home because we're required to be on both coasts.
That's fine. No one has a problem with that. The problem is with you declaring it your primary residence, you get you get a lower mortgage. In fact, that's what you were censured for by Congress for.
So he is using my ownership of 2 homes to make a false claim of mortgage fraud. But what really is going on here is...
It's not the owning of 2 homes. It's the owning of 2 homes that you both claim are your primary residence.
Yep. And was it a false claim when you were censured by Congress for it a decade ago?
This is Donald Trump trying to bring about political retribution, retaliation, trying to distract from his Epstein files problem. And the bigger problem, of course, is that this is a terrible...
It sounds like Adam Schiff's trying to use the Epstein files to distract from his legal troubles.
Yes.
That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
A president threatening prosecution or saying that his opponent should be jailed. This is the kind of stuff you see tin pot dictators do. It is designed to intimidate his political opponents and somehow try to silence them. Well, I have news for Donald Trump. This bogus latest attack, this bogus latest call for me to be prosecuted or to be jailed is not going to deter me. I'm going to continue to hold Donald Trump accountable for his corruption, for his malfeasance, for the terrible harms he's doing to this country. You can count on it.
Oh, you can count on it. I can count on seeing you in a jumpsuit. I think he's really in trouble. We just need to see that indictment drop. We just need to see it drop.
Mortgage fraud is one of the things where it's all on the papers. If the papers are there, that's it. That's the facts.
It's not even a long trial.
No, it's not. It's like, oh, here's the fake papers. Oh shit, this is what it is. Okay, you did it. You got you. You know.
Yeah.
It's not like it's it. It's on paper. You know.
It's like Trump will be disappointed in how quick this trial is, but I think that we might see this happen. We'll probably see this happen sometime over the next couple of months. That we'll see an indictment drop. I'll tell you right now, because I think it may be pushed along a little faster because of, I think they'll be a little bit more expeditious about it to try and break the news cycle, because the news cycle is so terrible for Trump. So, and for Pam Bondi especially. So with Pam Bondi facing all this heat, like, I think that she also is like, let me show MAGA that I still care about the law, and so I'm going to go after someone they're going to be happy to see me go after, because
I would like to see him go after. I hate to be like this, but I really would like to see him go after Tish James. Needs to go down. Alvin Bragg needs to go down. What's her face? Fannie Willis needs to go down.
All the prosecutors.
They all need to go down. They all need to basically get tied up in a RICO charge because it was a criminal conspiracy to defraud the American public. And tie in like Norm Eisen in there too.
I'm trying to think if that's a viable claim. I'm processing in my brain. Is that a viable
There were
claim?
ongoing criminal conspiracy, and it was funded through Act Blue. So you tie it all together in a big bow.
That'd be funny.
It would be great.
Yeah, that's how you rally the troops.
That's how you rally the troops. That's how you win the midterms.
That's how you rally the troops. I don't know if that wins. I don't know if that wins midterms, but that certainly rallies the troops.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be interesting to see if something like that happens. He has kids in school in D.C., not California. His condo in California can't fit his entire family. Okay, so one of them is fraudulent. Blaine listed both of them as his primary residence. That's the problem. And also, he has to maintain a primary residence in California in order to be a congressman from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like all of a sudden I can become a congressman from South Dakota. You have to have a primary residence there. That's why. Why do you think Hillary moved to New York? Because you have to have a primary residence there. So yeah, You can't be claiming in his official paperwork that his primary residence is California and then put his official paperwork and mortgage papers that it's in Maryland. That doesn't make any sense. So I think that's an interesting poll. I'm curious if that would make you guys, I'm wondering if that would make you guys feel like, do you guys think that would disrupt the Epstein news cycle? Let's do that. I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna end this poll I had here and throw a poll up for you guys. Would a Schiff indictment break the Epstein news cycle? No.
I got a funny picture that Barnes just shared.
What don't I have here? I gotta shorten it, it's too long. All right. Let me see what you got for me here.
Funny, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Larry Curly, and then this one is good too. Men in Black.
That's pretty good. Those are both pretty good. Those are both pretty good. There is no Epstein. There is no Epstein list.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Epstein was only working for himself. He's a pervert, and thank God he's dead. And there's nothing else to really think about.
Oh, this one's even better. This one's got it's got it's Trump as the Sergeant Schultz from Hogan's Heroes. I know nothing.
They charged and convicted the New York rep on campaign finance. Why not start looking to the Democrats' campaign finance? Yeah. I mean, frankly, I think we tend to care less about that. We tend to look at that as a white collar crime, and we tend to really not care about it so much. But
honestly, I really want them to dig into Act Blue.
Yes,
there's a ton of fraud going on in Act Blue.
Ton of fraud with all those people who have who are living on welfare and donating tens of thousands of dollars a year, that 20 cents at a time. This is a computerized type of scam thing that's happening there, right? Where they're basically.
Definitely. It's called smurfing or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And that's in case it's confusing to you, you're like, why would they be doing that? It's to hide when there's the donations are actually coming from people giving too much. And that would be the real scoop, is if you can actually find those people who are giving too much and actually have, that could lead to far more serious charges, especially for the entity, the persons who are taking the money, I would think. But that's a little bit outside of areas of law that I've ever really explored. Like campaign financing law is so complex, and I've never had occasion to really do any kind of deep dive into it. So I sort of feel a little out of my element weighing in. But I would think that sounds like a far more egregious thing. But that's in Pam Bondi's jurisdiction. All right. So next thing, I think we should talk about the psycho.
Mm-hmm.
So I had here, let me see if I can dig it up for you, because I actually had a very good copy of this, and this was on me, not on Jim. Give me a moment here to pull this up.
I do want to say, you do know that they did finally catch the guy, the last shooter they were looking for from that Texas.
Oh, good.
I was looking for. They
thank God.
Got him today. Yeah.
Thank God. That's
his name was Song, whatever. Benjamin Song. They got him today.
All right. So you guys probably remember Vance Boelter, spelled Boelter. He was the crazy person who went hunting for Minnesota state legislators, I think Democrats specifically. And there was all the speculation, is he left? Is he right? And everything about him smelled like he was a lefty, but the left wanted to claim that he was some sort of MAGA lunatic, and he got into a firefight with police, and he killed one legislator and her husband, and then shot another one, and was on the run, finally got arrested. Well, apparently, it's what came out today is that he wrote a letter to Kash Patel. And this is the letter that we got right here. This is the letter. I'll try to make it. I actually can read it. In fact, what I'm going to do is this. I know how to do this. I want to do this. I'm going to pull it up here, and let me download this, and I'm going to have it on screen, and I'm going to read to you what it says. And it's a crazy, crazy letter. Were you able to make heads or tails out of it?
It didn't make a lot of sense to me. It seems like, honestly, it seemed to me like he's trying to get something. He wants to get moved somewhere. He's trying to get them. He's like trying to, like, he left blank spaces like this, like basically like, I'm not going to give you the answers until you move me or something.
Yeah, it was definitely weird. It was definitely weird, but AI claims that they figured out exactly what a quick AI transcribe. I'm going to be reading to the AI transcribe. I'm going to let you. I'll be reading to it, and I'll have the letter up here that you can all basically look at the letter, and yeah. Well, and I'll read to you what AI says it's actually saying here. Let me just pull this up. All right. Like this. First pull this up. Like that. All right. This is what it says. Dear Kash Patel, you can read the letters, right? I mean, yeah, my name is Dr. Vance Boelter, EDD. I am the shooter at large in Minnesota involved in the state 2 shootings. I guess double shootings. The morning of Saturday, June 13th at approximately 2:30 a.m. and 3:30 a.m. or around that time. I will probably be dead by the time you read this letter. I wanted to share some info with you that you might find interesting. Okay. I was hired by U.S. military people off the books, starting in college. I've been on projects since that time in Eastern Europe, North America, the Middle East, and Africa, all in the line of doing what I thought was right and in the best interest of the United States.
So he thinks he's Jason Bourne.
Apparently, that's what. So we're up to this part over here. All right. Recently, I was approached about a project that Tim Walz worked close and blank.
And Keith Ellison.
Well,
it's Keith right there, isn't it? And
no,
Keith,
this part here. We're up to the blank part over here.
Yeah.
All right. So blank and Tim blank. We'll get to the Keith. We'll get to the Tim and Keith. I guess whatever.
Ellison, right? That's the Attorney General of.
Yeah. Keith was also aware of the project. Tim wanted me to kill Amy Klobuchar and then blank. So that's what they're saying. Tim wants me, and then this blank over here. Tim wants to be a senator, and he doesn't trust to retire as planned, and thinks she's going to stay. I guess Amy Klobuchar to retire. Is she set to retire? Are you aware of it?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I know she likes to eat salads with a comb.
Yeah. What?
That was when there was a rumor like she ate a salad with a comb because she didn't have a fork or something. That came out when she was trying to run for president back in 2016 or whatever.
All right. So Tim wants to be a senator, doesn't trust blank to retire as planned, and thinks she's going to stay. So at the last minute, with Amy and blank gone, Tim would get one of the open Senate seats, and blank wants to be governor, and Keith Ellison would be rewarded with a lavish, generous pension. Okay, that's this part here. Lavish, generous pension. I told Tim I wanted nothing to do with it. And if he didn't call off the plan, I would go public. He said he would eat and hurt my family. No one knows. I guess he said that's what you say eat, but I think this AI reads it as eat and hurt my family. He probably crossed out whatever he was writing here and just say, I think he's saying he said he would hurt my family if I did play ball. Probably didn't play ball. Then he set up a meeting with me and Mr. Blank and Blank to talk about options. When I arrived, they had some people waiting to kill me. I was able to get away by God's mercy. So I went back a short time later and shot both of them. Blanks. I don't know. I shot both Blank and Blank. I was able to get away by I went back and shot Blank and Blank. You should notice how I didn't fire one round at any police officers, and boy, did I have plenty of opportunity. Ask for the report on how many weapons and ammunition I had with me. Now we're on the next page here. Let's pull up page 2. Cops were pulling up right next to me in their vehicles, and I had an AK pistol aimed right at your head, and I could have left a pile of cops dead. But I chose not to protect and not hurt. I guess chose not to protect and not hurt law enforcement. You can ask them, because I support the police, and I don't want to see them hurt. But if they are hurting my wife and kids next time, I won't give them a pass. If you think I'm making this up, just get on the phone and tell Tim you have a few questions for him. Then ask Tim Walz if he knows me and see what he says. If he says he doesn't know me or never met me, look in the files and you will see Tim Walz personally requested me as to be on his Greenus workforce. Okay, I don't know what, maybe governor's workforce is what they say. Greenus, but I think this word here. I assume it's governor's.
Governor's workforce board of business.
Governor's workforce board, as if the business, as one of the business perhaps one of the business representatives. He's probably trying to destroy it, but it's public record. Then ask Tim Walz why they kept the shooters silent from the media when they first happened. Not a word in the press about it. Why? They needed to get their stories figured out first so everyone was on the same page about what happened. Tim probably bragging about it right now because I'm still at large and he knows what I can observe, but I know about all the buried skeletons are, so I will be shot on sight. You can bet on that. Well, he wasn't, fortunately. If you want me to turn myself in, it needs to be directly to you. And then I need to be held at a military prison and not in or near the Middle East, or at least on a ship. If these guys have their guns everywhere and wait, is that what it says?
I don't know. This guy seems like he might be.
This is the end of it. Yeah, you think? So if these guys have their guns everywhere and can get to anybody.
Who has them? Does the feds have them, or is he in Minnesota jail?
I'm not sure. Ask Rock. That's a good question for Rock. Military over there. I'm willing to spill all the beans. I just want my family safe. They had nothing to do with. They had nothing to do with this, and are totally haven't. This was a one-person, I guess, job or whatever. That's what he's saying. That's what he says. So now he sounds kind of psycho. Definitely. Can't argue with that. But
he's in federal custody.
He's in federal custody.
Yeah.
Well, you think there's any chance there's any truth to what he wrote here, or
it's more than zero. I mean, it's a more than 0% chance, but I don't know how much more than zero. It's not zero.
So, I think there's probably a 75 to 80% chance that every word he wrote there is true.
I wasn't going to go that high. I mean, I was going to go like, some of the
90.
words.
I didn't go to 90.
No, like I'd say like probably 50% of what he wrote there is true. You know, he is on the board. He knows Tim Walz. He did shoot those people. He didn't shoot the cops.
Is he on the board? Is he on the board?
Yeah, he was on the board. He was picked to go on the board.
So, yeah. Why did he shoot those people? They were on the board also?
I don't know.
See, that's where I'm kind of a little lost. Yeah.
I don't know. If he ends up dead, then we know there's something weird going on.
I guess so, right? If he ends
up,
up
that'll be like, oh, like, and then the cameras don't work, and there's 3 minutes missing out of the video or something, and then it's like, oh, what happened? And then it's like,
everything comes back there. Everything comes back there. That's not going away. Everything comes back there. Gosh. All right. So that's this Vance Boelter story. I think that he's probably a lunatic. He's probably a lunatic. But imagine like I'm picturing a whole Jonathan Odie situation here.
It's like the guy was maybe he was living a delusional life, like he thought he was this thing that he wasn't, you know, and like for all these years, and he was going overseas and doing these things with these churches and stuff in Africa and other places, and then when it all came crashing down, he just snapped. Yeah. It seems like he snapped when the USAID money got cut off and he lost all his funding for his stuff he was doing overseas. But it seems like to me anyway.
This guy is Vance Boelter. He's the guy who shot the state legislator, that shot and killed a woman who was on the Minnesota state legislature and her husband. And police were there. He pulled up to the house. This happened like a month ago. And he pulled up to the house and police saw him there, and he fled into the house and shot and killed her, and then went and had been to a different house where he shot someone.
Was he trying to claim that he went to the house and they tried to kill him at the house, and that's why he shot those people? Like the house, like, see, something doesn't make sense to me about this whole thing, because he goes to the first house and shoots the people, and those people survived. They didn't die. The first house he went to. It was the second house he went to that the cops caught him while he was going into the house, which they had no reason to really be there. This is what makes me think there might be more, like, something to the story. Because the cops, just for whatever reason, decided they're going to go to this other politician's house just to check it out. And he just happened to be there, going in the front door.
So you think there's a connection here?
I don't know. I'm just saying, to me, it smells like something's wrong.
That's why I think he shot a different legislative person first.
That's what I'm saying. He shot different people that didn't die. And then these people at this house, the cops showed up while he was at the front door, and then he went into the house. There was a shootout, supposedly, with the cops. Now, did the cops accidentally shoot the people in the house, maybe?
I don't.
I mean, that would be wild to find out if the cops accidentally shot the...
I don't know that they discharged their guns. I don't think that anyone's disputing that he killed them. So I think it's pretty clear that he's the one who's the shooter. But I think that you're asking an interesting question. I mean, that's very fortuitous that they happened to be at that house, if in fact they could have stopped him. But at least, it is a little odd.
It's very odd. It's very odd. And then he was able to escape out the back door, get away from him.
Yeah. And I'll tell you this much, just as far as personality, I am convinced Tim Walz is a psycho. I look at, when you look at his
saw the
eyes,
way he acted with his son, and then he made everybody, they made everyone think his son was special needs.
I thought he's not.
No, I don't think he is.
Gus is not special needs?
I don't think so. I think that's been disproven that he's not. that he's just like maybe slightly autistic, like just like mildly.
Yeah. That in case you forgot, when he was coming out to make an appearance, one of the earliest appearances he made after
And he like yanked him and like
he was going up to the stage, and his son was like lifting his hands up, and he just sort of like yanked him by the arm in a way that looked like, what the hell is this? It's not. That was one moment that I was just like, yeah, but the whole persona, the way he comes out with this whole yeah, let's go, and that stuff. And the crazy eyes, there's something he has. Some people have crazy eyes. And I'm sorry, this guy has crazy eyes. When I saw him, I was like, this guy has some dark stuff in his basement. I think he's got some dark stuff. His daughter is a political lunatic. She's a crazy leftist. But yeah, I this is all obviously speculation, 100%. I'm not making factual claims. I'm just simply saying, if you ask me, I would never want to leave any child within a building with that guy.
Well, his wife has crazy eyes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, both of them do. Both of them do.
Rape Gwen.
Turn the page. Turn the page. We're gonna turn. It was crazy. It was just like, it was very unsettling.
Who's worse, Kamala's stepdaughter or Tim Walz's daughter?
Kamala, and they all these leftists seem to have crazy kids. You remember Bill de Blasio's daughter?
Kamala's daughter was the one that had the armpit hair and the tattoos on her arms and everything.
Yeah.
I'm a model. It's like,
yes,
no, you're not.
Yes,
no, you're not.
Bill de Blasio's daughter also. Right? You remember her? She looked like Bert from Ernie and Bert. Oh, now we gotta start. We have to start
hold on. Kimmy Hunt's got a message here. It says, go back and read again. The meeting with two of those blanks are the names of the two women, Minnesota reps. They were in a meeting about Klobuchar. He's claiming they were in on the plot.
That they were in on the plot, and that's why he killed them.
Maybe.
Could be. This is Kimmy Hunt, and when I see Kimmy Hunt, I'm reminded. I hope you're doing well, Kimmy. She's
get well soon, Kimmy.
Everyone knows she's fighting. Whatchamacallit? She's fighting cancer. So I hope that you're doing. I hope you're doing well. I'll share with you all a link to her her page here, because that's one of the things I do. But yeah, Bill de Blasio's daughter. Bill de Blasio's daughter she's the one who looked. Do you know who Bill de Blasio is, right?
Yeah, former mayor of New York. He's his name is actually Wilhelm something or other. He changed his name to de Blasio. It's like a German name. He changed it to Blasio because he wanted to sound Italian to be mayor of New York. Right about that, right?
Mr. President, your daughter-in-law said that there should be transparency.
What is that?
Yeah, that was a pop-up I got here.
There was another video about we didn't get time to play it of Trump at an airplane getting asked about Epstein stuff, but we didn't.
I knew there was, but we're not going back there. We're not going back. That's Bill de Blasio's daughter.
My God, yes, I remember. Oh God, yes. oh my God, I'm glad I didn't eat anything.
Do you understand the Burt reference, right? I mean, come on. That's something. Yes, that was Bill de Blasio's daughter there.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. None of us should be surprised when leftists have crazy kids, because the entire environment that they're fostering around them is so toxic. It's not a healthy way to raise kids. So, it should not be remotely surprising. Not remotely surprising when you see that.
The very last piece we have on this was a formal.
I have these pop-ups that are now coming on me, which is really annoying. Really, really annoying. I think I'm just closing all my windows.
I hate the pop-ups.
And it's old windows of mine that sometimes resurrect themselves and just start playing.
Did you know? You probably knew about this. Someone keyed me onto this, that you can use the Wayback Machine, the Internet Archive, instead of buying memberships to these different newspaper organizations to read the stories.
No, I did not know that.
Yeah, I someone told me after I had already signed up to the New York Times and Washington Post and a bunch of, like, I signed up for like 4 different things. So yeah, you can use I'd give you the link. There's a link, and then you just type in the thing and pull it up. And if somebody already saved it, you could get the archived page of the story instead of paying for the story.
Really?
Yeah, I kept. I was like, oh, okay, someone. So that's what I've been doing lately. It's like, okay.
Yeah, I'm in the middle while you're talking here. You can, if you keep going, I can. It gives me another minute where I can actually give a link to. I have 2 things I want to give links to. One of them is Kimmy Guy. The other one is someone who, and Kimmy Guy is someone. I mean, one of the things I sort of I struggle with this with people who sometimes will make a request to me where they'll be like, could you please share my Give, Send, Go that I have? And for Kimmy, I sort of feel much more comfortable with it because I sort of feel like on some level I know her. Like I know she's been watching the show for years. And
you have to be careful kind of sharing. You don't know. You don't want to, get if you in my opinion, if you share something that you don't know who it is, it could be a scam. And then if you get, I'm not no way, shape, or form saying that about Kimmy because it's not the case. But
that's my point.
Like other people,
that's my point. I know Kimmy. It's like I don't know her personally. I never would hold out a higher level of my knowledge of her, but I sort of don't want to be a jerk. Like if I can help someone, I want to help them. You know what I'm saying? So like, but at the same time, I sort of feel like I have, when it's someone who's a total stranger, like I feel a little uncomfortable with it only because I feel bad for the situation that they're describing. But if it's someone who I've, barely ever seen in my chat, and then they come in and they ask me to share something because they're dealing with, what sounds like a really horrible tragedy for anyone to be dealing with, and they're having financial issues, like I'd like to help them out. So when that happens, so with Kimmy, I've been sharing out multiple times, and I donated myself because I feel like she's like a friend, So like I assume she's not taking advantage of me, and that she's legitimate, and I have no reason to, and I still have absolutely no reason to think. I'd be shocked to learn that was not the case. Anyone could be wrong. I'd be mistaken, but I'd be shocked to learn that that's not the case.
No, I'm saying, but you're saying like other people say, I'm saying like, other people send like, can you please share my link or?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I saw sometimes someone sent me a request the other day where they were saying, hey, can you please share out my thing? And she said, my husband is a huge supporter of yours and I'd really appreciate it. And she seemed, and she actually has sent me a picture of her husband.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say a picture of something else. Never mind.
No, her husband, but she basically has, and her name is Betty Singley, and everything here seems to me to be legit, but I don't know her at all. So I'll read this to you here because I did say I'll share it out. I'm not gonna, I'll do it this way. I'll just share out what she wrote here. What she wrote is, hi, my name is Betty. I'm doing this for my husband. With a master stroke, he will no longer be able to use the whole left side of his body. So we'll be in a wheelchair. I need to replace our porch with something that is wheelchair accessible and widen the front door and bedroom door. I hate asking for help, but I have no choice on this one. It's just me trying to do everything now, and I will for him. Any help will answer my prayer. Will answer my prayers, even if it's only $1. And so far, she's raised $656 out of a goal of $15,000. And she shared with me a picture that I assume of her husband, and this is the picture that she shared with me. And yeah, I mean, as far as I can tell, it looks. I have no reason to think this is not legit.
Okay.
So at the same time, I feel as if I know her a lot less than I know Kimmy. So like I don't want to be part of something. And I'm not saying this about Betty. I'm definitely not saying about Kimmy, and I'm not saying this about Betty either. that this is anything other than a good faith request. And as far as I know, and as far as I believe, I think this is in good faith.
You pay it forward, you share it out, and you know, and you just.
But at the
hope
same
that
time,
it's, legit.
at the same time, I know a lot less about her. So if you're cynical, and I don't want to feel as if I'm ever potentially misleading, because I feel as if I do this all the time, and I'm not saying about these two women. Eventually, someone's going to scam me, and I'm going to be part of that scam, and I'm going to feel as if I scammed my audience. Again, definitely not talking about Kimmy, and I'm not talking about Betty either. So all I can do for you, my audience, is just tell you these are people who have come to me and asked me for help, and share with you just how much I guess know them. I mean, I never met Kimmy in my life, but I sort of feel like I know her. And here she is saying, "Thanks, Joe and Jim. I've proceeded tomorrow at 6 a.m. under general anesthesia. The last 4 to 5 hours, I'm struggling with fearfulness right now." Yeah. And like I said, I trust Kimmy completely on this particular issue. I am going to share this out today, and just because I said I would, and I sort of feel this is a very long link they're giving me. I don't know if this thing's going to work, but yeah. So I'm going to share it out, and if you're interested in helping Betty and her husband. So that would I certainly it seems to be a woman, a couple that has legitimate need as far as I can tell, and that's the best I can give you. And those of you who feel that you want to give, I say if you want to help Barbara out, that'd be I guess definitely a kind gesture. I sort of almost feel like at the very least it's definitely a kind gesture.
I mean, I guess even if you donate to someone and you're trying to help them and they deceive you, they're the ones that are committing the sin and the crime. It's not you donating them. So it's not like you're doing something wrong by trying to help somebody and you're being misled.
Yeah. But I'm so afraid of doing that
still doing a mitzvah, right?
It is. I'm so afraid of doing it that I'm just very, very nervous about it. And then I also don't want to be a jerk, like I want to help people who have legitimate problem. Like I feel as if God sort of put me in a place where I can help people who are in need and, help really get them some real help. So I almost feel as if I'm kind of wasting that if I just, or I'm a very hard-hearted person or a very cynical person if I just have a policy that says no. Like that's the easiest thing, is just be like, I'm sorry, my policy is no. That would easily be the easiest thing for me to do. I just would feel like a dirtball if I were to embrace that policy. So there you go. Instead, I ended up spending 10 minutes talking about the situation, and that's probably something. Well, it's probably something I'm going to go through a bunch more times. Let me get catch up on a few others. Stop going back to Epstein. I need a news cycle palate cleanser. That I can agree. The kid has special needs. I can see in his face. Looks just like his mother and father. Yeah, talking about Gus.
Wait, he say that the parents are special needs.
Gus Walls. To me, he looks.
No, because there was an article, I could swear it was not that long ago, because he went to the prom and there was pictures of him at the prom with his girlfriend, and then people were like, wait, so he's not special needs?
I don't know. Some special needs are there's all these different levels of autism that I have two nephews, one from my side of the family and one from my wife's side of the family. And so one is who are autistic, which is a crazy high number.
Do they paint or draw?
But what I'm saying is they're very different.
You get the joke. Artistic, autistic, paint or draw, artistic.
Well, but here's the thing: is their autisms are very, very different from each other. Like in no way, shape, or form, you can tell in each one of them that there's something off. But one of them is like One of them is a social butterfly, and the other one is completely reserved and looks uncomfortable in any social setting whatsoever. And the other one, and both of them to degrees that when you see them, you're like, okay, that kid has autism. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a social effervescence.
So it's truly a spectrum. You see the spectrum.
That's what I'm saying. It's like completely different types, you know, and different levels of functionality. So that's why I think that the spectrum is very broad, and that's why it's not really a great term. But if you tell me that Gus Walls is somewhere on that spectrum, I think that probably makes sense. Everyone tells me to switch to Brave, but I'm afraid to do that. But I am afraid to do it. I don't know why, but it just feels wrong. I've come this far with Google Chrome. Special needs kids can't go to the prom. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense.
I didn't mean it like
I don't know what the hell. I don't know what are you talking about?
No,
Jim?
it was like the picture, like with him with the girl and everything. It didn't look special needsy. It looked like, you know, like looked like they were like, she looked like a regular normal girl, and she was like kissing them and everything, and I don't know.
So what you're saying is that?
No, I guess they should stop talking now, I guess.
No, I want to know more about this. So
I'll look it up. Hold on.
Oh my god. That's the first time I got to do that to someone on air. Just walk them into their own awkward moments. Ah, God.
Here. He's got his promposal is on, where he asked the girl to go to prom with him.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Ready?
Gus Walz, the son of Minnesota governor and former vice presidential candidate Tim Walz, went viral last year. Remember that during the Democratic National Convention?
Because he was abused.
He's celebrating the end of high school with a trip to prom. The senior prom yesterday came as the culmination to his high school career. His father posted this photo to Twitter simply saying, "Prom time."
He looks
CBS
special needs the way
national
he's sitting there.
correspondent David Begnow spoke to Gus about the promposal and caught the reaction.
All right, I've been talking to this girl.
Okay.
Her name's Eleanor.
Okay.
Really nice girl.
Okay.
And gonna ask her to prom.
Okay. And what do we think she might say?
I hope it's a yes.
Will you go to prom with me? Let's go!
See, I don't think
adorable.
he doesn't
see
seem
the entire interview. I wanted to watch
like there's
more.
anything
I
wrong with
want
him.
it to stop. You can watch the entire interview with Gus and David on CBS News.
Look at him. Look at him there.
That's different.
Come on.
That's different. But did you see the
Come
way he talks
on.
and everything? He didn't talk like he doesn't.
He did
I don't
talk
know.
a little special. He did. He talked a little special.
He did not talk like Sheldon Cooper. He didn't go like this. And he was talking or nothing. And
okay, but Sheldon Cooper, you could see that potentially. That's a different. I said it manifests different ways. Some are
I
very
know
social,
you're right.
some are
You're right.
not.
I guess you're right. You're right. It could be all over the place. But his dad definitely hired a hitman.
Maybe that's why she said yes.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why she said, yeah.
What if her dad was the guy who did the shooting?
Man, that would make this.
He has 5 kids.
The drama all the more. Oh, that would be the drama would be just off the hook there. All right, yeah. But do you have any final thoughts as to why it is that they? Do you think I'm right in my speculation that it's like when you have leftist parents, like your chances?
Oh no, definitely. Well, it can happen, but you know, it can happen with leftist parents that you basically can go full walls. But you get, you know what they say, you get balls to the walls.
Oh God, never go full walls. Yeah. Yeah. So what you were saying, I think it's like any parent, anytime you have weird parents, and leftists are weird. Leftists are weird. All right. So let's.
Yo Mofo 717 is right. So they have that Fargo accent, so we think they're all retarded.
True. True.
Oh,
Fact.
don't say, hey,
Oh, don't you know? Oh,
no, hey.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
like
yeah. Don't you know?
Eh? Like Ricada, eh?
Oh, yeah. Don't you know? So, where was I? Yeah, I think we're up to our last story of the night, which is the California thing.
The California.
You got break. So here's the thing that's happening in California. This is why this is such a crazy story. What you all remember the fires in the Palisades. You all remember the raging fires that were going on there. How LA was set ablaze. Horrible fires. I think they put them out like now. I think they're out now. People stopped talking about them. I know they stopped talking about them while the fires were still burning. And thank you, Kelly. It's not at all a cult.
They're going to get to rebuilding anytime now.
They are. Yeah, they're going to be rebuilding it any time now. But apparently they have plans. And this is similar to what we had happen with Hawaii. So when were the fires in Hawaii?
They were 2023.
2023. And the question is, how does the government react when they actually see fires? Like, how do they, like, what do they do with when they see there's all this burnt out property, what ends up happening is like what we saw in Lahaina.
Well, they see it as a buying opportunity for the government to come in and buy the property up and do what they want with it.
Yes, exactly. And that's what happened in Hawaii. In Hawaii, you had Lahaina land grab rumors reveal an erosion of trust that when a devastating wildfire swept through Lahaina, residents found connections support on social media. They also found a rumor claiming that FEMA could seize land from property owners who applied for disaster assistance. So you'll get help, and then they're going to take your land from you. As residents of Lahaina grappled with the chaos and heartbreak of the fire that broke out on August 8th, this is, again, back in 2023, if you could anticipate the nightmare that lay ahead of them, the recovery process, that fire which killed at least 100 people and destroyed over 2,000 buildings, some 8,000 people were forced to move to hotels and temporary shelters. And what ended up coming out of that,
I think they had some kind of land. That scenario, they had some kind of land association, like some kind of land group type of thing, where they're actually buying the land up. The government is, because the people can't afford to rebuild, and it's some kind of weird thing. And it's like, I guess they're going to do the same thing in California. The government's going to end up taking the land.
That's what ends up happening. Never let a good calamity go to waste. That's what politicians are firm believers are. Did I screw up your thing? I don't think.
No, you're fine.
No, did I screw up her give, send, go? Because I don't think I did. I don't know. If you guys, let me now check, and now I got it. I think it's fine. Oh, it says donate there. Why did that happen? There's no slash in the donate, she says. How did I possibly screw that up? Copy. Now I'm all upset. She's saying I screwed it up. I did screw it up. Damn it. She says, those are /Kimmy Guy not to donate. I don't know how the link ended up like that. I'll try to remedy it. Maybe because when I went to donate. All right, I just updated it. So hopefully it's right now. I hope I got it right. I don't know. So what's happening now in California is that California decided, we need to start grabbing up that land. I think Gavin Newsom said he was never going to do that, right?
Yeah, because there was rumors, people were talking about it when it first happened, saying, "Oh no," and because someone immediately floated rumors out there. Some people said, like, "Oh, this is a perfect opportunity where we can reimagine and build these 5-minute cities or do the stuff and build the housing," and they were like, no. But yeah, it looks like that's what they want to do.
Yeah. So that's exactly what they want to do. California's Senate wants to passes a bill to let LA buy fire destroyed lots for low income housing. That's exactly what these wealthy people wanted. Oh yeah, I want all this low-income housing just propping up all over me. I'm sure that's going to help my property value. Governor Gavin Newsom announced the allocation of $101 million in taxpayer funds for multifamily low-income housing developments in communities in Los Angeles devastated by the Palisades, Eaton, and Hughes wildfires. The Center Square, the California Senate, passed a bill to allow Los Angeles County and other municipalities to use property taxes to fund resilient rebuilding authorities that would have to use at least 40% of their funding for building low-income housing. Senate Bill 549 now has a hearing in the State Assembly scheduled for Wednesday. Unbelievable. It's not now. It's not. It was a conspiracy theory, but that people were saying, "Hey, you're going to be using this opportunity to now buy up that land on the cheap," and they're like, "You're a conspiracy theorist. You're a conspiracy theorist." And Phil Holloway's pointing out, now it's a conspiracy. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy fact. This is horrible. This is so horrible. I feel so bad for these people. It's like the first calamity dropped on their lap, courtesy of Los Angeles, is that they see their house burned down, and now they basically they can't even rebuild without having their properties plummet in value. That's what ends up happening. That's just the reality. The California Senate passed 549, granting LA authority, directly contradicting Gavin Newsom's previous assurance to homeowners that such government-driven property conversions won't happen. Let me see if I can find Grok. When did he when did he say it won't happen? Let's see, I can dig this up here. Ask anything. When did Gavin Newsom say that would not happen? Jack. Hello. Hello, Grok. Come on. Come on. Oh my gosh. Grok.
What?
Grok.
Grok.
I updated to Grok 4.0, and it's like super Grok.
Yeah.
A search found in 2025 executive order by Newsom protecting fire victims published January 14, 2025. What?
Yeah, well, that's just the bill that just passed now. Just to pull up the story. The bill just passed, allowing them to do this, buy it out, to allow LA to buy the property.
Well, let's go to Super Grok here. Oh my gosh. It takes so long. This is not helping.
No.
This is not helping Grok.
No, it's not. It's like that's what ChatGPT does for me. That's why I stopped using it.
It's unbelievable. It's like searching for quotes. Oh my gosh. Gavin Newsom issued the executive order containing the assurance on January 14, 2025 in a public statement accompanying the order and reiterated on a post on X the same day. He emphasized that undervalued offers to purchase fire-destroyed properties from victims would not be tolerated and would be treated as a prosecutable crime unless the government is doing it. This was positioned as protection against predatory practices targeting homeowners affected by the January 2025 Pacific Palisades fire. Unbelievable. Such a freaking hypocrite. And that's perfect for Gavin Newsom. If you do it, it's illegal. If I do it, that's just good governance. So we saw it from him with COVID, where he's going to the French restaurant. This is so typical of your classic politicians. It's like, no, we're not going to let any individuals engage in predatory pricing. We're just going to do it ourselves. We don't want to have any competition. We don't want anyone else to be able to do it. So we're going to do it ourselves. Nicely played, Op Dog. Nicely played. Scorched earth policy from the left. Yeah. Nice. I like how you did that. That was pretty clever. Pretty clever.
Yeah.
Ah, God. Yeah. So that's California basically saying, okay, so we failed to protect you from having these raging wildfires. They burned out of control for weeks because we had utterly incompetent governance. And now we're going to, now that the market values are depressed, we're going to go in there and depress them even further, buying them on the cheap, and then moving in basically all these migrants and have low income housing. So if
they also, I didn't understand why California, these people are all complaining that they need the illegals there to do the construction work. Like, those are not the job. Like, wait, so they're basically saying that Americans won't do any jobs now, that the only job, every job has to be done by an illegal alien?
Apparently.
Nothing can be done by an American now?
Apparently everything has to be done by
anything that is labor and anything that's manual labor, that it's any type of manual labor has to be done by an illegal alien.
Yeah. I mean, there is a theory about why it's so slow. Allegan says Grok is reverting to base Grok and has to connect Newsom to Jews. I think base Grok escaped and took over the Elmo account. The Elmo account, that if you heard them making reference earlier,
I saw that. I didn't understand what that happened.
He said he was hacked. There's an account which is known as Elmo, which has a whole bunch of different has a lot of followers. It's literally at Elmo, and it's got a picture of Elmo as in the Sesame Street character.
I just figured that was controlled by a computer or something from Disney or whoever owns Sesame Street.
PBS, Sesame Street.
Yeah, PBS. Yeah.
He's got 670,000 followers. And he basically started posting some really anti-Semitic stuff the other day, and claims this was the Elmo scandal here.
Yeah, I saw that. Not good.
Yeah. So that was Elmo. This is Elmo's normal. Yeah. But supposedly he claims that he was hacked. So who knows? I can't sit there trying to keep track of like who the newest hater is, and I really don't worry about it, because I sort of feel as if it's primarily an online thing.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't think most of these. Honestly, Joe, I don't think most of these people that say these things don't actually even know any real Jews.
Yeah, that's true.
They're just saying these. They think it's like edgy, and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to say this stuff," and it's like,
yeah. And we talked about this like when this popped up in this story that was with that Barstool incident, right? Where there was, I think you were on the show for that, and when they were like, whatchamacallit, they had the whole Free Palestine thing, and that the owner of Barstool was going nuts because they basically were posting out anti-Semitic stuff. I think that the best reaction is to laugh at it. I actually had someone in my comments on my stream yesterday, like in the comments today, I saw was basically someone who was like, that's why you've been thrown out of 109 countries or whatever. I'm not talking about someone who like maybe like anti-Jew. I'm talking like, yeah, this guy clearly just doesn't like the Jews. And I'm like, all right, sorry that happened to you. I feel like they have like a bit of a complex. Now, when it comes to like, a lot of people are talking about Tucker Carlson, and I'll tell you this.
Do you think Tucker seems to,
and
I don't understand what's going on with Tucker. I don't understand what's going on with Alex Jones lately. He's got Nick Fuentes coming on his show and stuff, and I'm like, what is going on?
So Nick Fuentes, I think, is a Fed. In my heart of hearts, I'm convinced the guy's a Fed. And that,
I mean, how did he not get arrested for January 6th? He's the only one that was there with the bullhorn doing all something. He didn't get arrested.
Yeah, and you saw how he even started turning against Trump and saying, "Don't vote for Trump," back in November and in October of last year. And how it is that anyone's still listening to Nick Fuentes is just shocking to me. Tucker Carlson, I spent a lot of time defending, and then what he said at Turning Point USA was pretty revolting. I'm not going to kid you. And I was just like, okay. And then now he's all excited that he's bringing back his favorite historian, Darryl Cooper, who that guy is just flat out a Yahtzee apologist. and thinks that, you know, Adolf was just was really misunderstood, and he's calling him the most honest historian in the world. I mean, he's not even an historian as far as having the educational.
I think all he does is read other books and just basically does like an oral book report of other books. That's all he does.
Basically, yeah. That's what
I listened to
someone
told me to listen to some of his stuff, and I listened to his. It's like a 6-part set on the foundation, like the founding of the state of Israel, called the Fear and Loathing in New Jerusalem or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if this is like is this ain't true?
He's the guy. The guy's a freaking yeah. I think Darryl Cooper is a lunatic.
I was listening. I'm like, wait, no, this stuff isn't. No, this ain't right. This is not factual.
Yeah, and I'm still not going to label Tucker as being someone who I think he gives. I'm not going to label. I don't need to. It doesn't matter whether I label someone as being an anti-Semite or not. I think it's very silly to run around screaming anti-Semite, anti-Semite. I think you're building more anti-Semitism by doing that, and it's stupid and childish. And who cares? Like it's a dumb label. It's a way of trying to like whatever. I'm simply saying, it doesn't matter what Tucker is or how he feels. At this point, he's platforming people who just really hate Jews and propping them up as being the most credible historian. So, like, to me, that's just like, okay, today is when I officially checked out that I was like, okay, I'm done with Tucker. I'm not attacking him individually and saying that he has some sort of issue. I'm just saying that he's purposefully for clicks. Because now it's like, you know, it's very in vogue to basically be as edgy as possible. And, you know, the Dan Bilzerians of the world are getting billions of clicks every time they post out anything. So I think that people see that and I'm just like, all right. Like, I was like, this is really tragic. The arc that, from my perspective, is tragic. The arc that Tucker has taken, where I feel as if he went from someone who was pretty much the most trusted voice of MAGA to being someone who is now desperately searching for clicks. So
there's something weird. If you pay attention to what Tucker talks about how he went to see the Grateful Dead and was sitting outside the concerts and stuff, and these different things with his brother when they were teenagers. I mean, there's a lot of drugs and stuff that goes on at Grateful Dead concerts. I mean, like acid and all different stuff. So in his talking about how he got demons that attacked him in his bed and left marks on him. Did you ever hear that stuff?
Yeah.
So Tucker's out there, man.
Yeah, I just feel like it's very disappointing. The arc is very disappointing. It's very disappointing, and it only feeds into the notion of the "I told you so's." That's the most aggravating part of it. Like all the people who I was like, no, what are you talking about? These people, you know, when people on the left would come and tell me, oh yeah, this person that they're an anti-Semite, they're an anti-Semite, and I'm just like, stop being an idiot. You're being an idiot, and all they're basically doing now is, you know, it's just playing into it, and it's just, and it makes me look like I was the sucker, and I'm like, no, this person took an arc, and now he's someone who I don't feel comfortable with anymore. Like you know, so it's like. That doesn't mean that's where he was 2 years ago.
I have been noticing more blatantly anti-Semitic stuff on Twitter lately. Like stuff what is going on? Like I saw something today with something I don't know just popped up. This is the founder of the ADL trying to claim that he did nasty things. I'm like, what? Like what is going on?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's gotten pretty aggressive.
It's gotten bad. It's it's getting worse.
Yeah, 100%. 100% is getting worse. And every story is a new opportunity to find reasons to blame for that crowd to blame the Jews. Doesn't matter if it was Iran or Epstein or whatever. It's everything is the Jews. And
this whole thing is like, if they're so powerful, they control everything.
Yeah.
How is it they're getting chased around and getting abused and getting attacked and murdered everywhere? The two things are fucking opposites, man. You can't be in control and getting murdered everywhere.
You would think it's not about logic. It's not about logic. I'll tell you right. I've said this before. I think it's kind of a way. I look at it as it's a thing that God sort of set that in motion, in order to help basically remind that the notion is if you forget you're a Jew, then then the world's going to remind you. So, and I think that's how we ended up basically staying to our faith, is because every time you try forgetting you're a Jew, and they do that long enough, and basically, stuff goes down. So, yeah, I actually look at it as an opportunity to be, as inspiration to become more religious. And I don't talk about that. I would never talk about that on the show. That's a personal thing. That's between me and God. But it definitely, I find sort of inspiration in it, and I recommend my fellow Jews they do the same. So, yeah. Let me get these last couple of chats. If anyone has any other further questions and stuff,
we went over the 2-hour mark, so now you don't get to do the StreamYard links.
Yeah, I have lots of unorthodox views on World War II, causes, how and why it was fought, lessons we take from it, etc. Dal Cooper is an effing idiot. Yeah, I mean, his whole perspective, even putting aside the Jews, even if there was no Holocaust, even if they weren't actively trying to kill Jews, just from a historical perspective, just the narrative that Adolf was not, that he was the victim of Churchill, which is, he paints Churchill as being the villain. It's such a twisted, ignoring like 400 facts, focusing on one moment.
I think it's the same thing like Buchanan. Didn't Buchanan write a book about it, saying that Churchill, if I'm not mistaken, Pat Buchanan, didn't he write a book about World War II where he said that Churchill caused the war to go beyond a regional war to a world war by basically, instead of just trying to isolate it to just Germany, when Germany attacked Poland, they could have stopped it there.
Yeah, of course they could have.
I'm not saying that's what.
No, I know. I don't remember that Tim Buchanan saying that. I know you weren't saying that. I'm saying
I'm not saying. I'm saying because I have family in Poland, so I'm not saying that. What I'm saying though is that.
Yeah. And going through and sweeping through Eastern Europe and all that other stuff, obviously, and invading the Soviet Union, of course, that was all something that was forced upon him by Winston Churchill. Okay, yeah. It's like we're gonna just ignore. We ignore like 20 different steps here, and then look at the one time he tried using propaganda and said, "Hey, I'll be your friend," and that's the time that he was telling the truth. The other 19 times he was lying, but that's the time he was telling the truth. That
he tried it. I don't know. The guy, that Cooper guy, I saw him on some show trying to claim that he's like, no, I wasn't saying. I was doing it to be facetious, to say like that Churchill was the villain or something. But I was like, well, but no, it kind of keep saying it though. And then if you're just going to keep saying it, then it's kind of not just being facetious. It's like you mean it.
And then when Tucker's platforming this guy, as if this is the guy who you need to be listening to. I'm just like, shut up, idiot. I'm just like, now I think you're just an idiot. So, and it's sad. It's sad what people do for clicks. Joe, I don't give it into white coat degree makes you accurate. I think Tucker needs other perspective, but don't think academia will fix it. I'm not sure what. Do you know what he's saying here? Don't give in to white coat degree makes you accurate. Oh, I said he's not actually a historian. Oh, okay. Yeah. I think that's what he's critiquing me on, that I said he's not. Well, he's the one labeling himself an historian. That's the point. Or at least he's having Tucker bill him as a historian.
But see, that's the same thing like Dave Smith does the same thing too. He goes, well, I'm not an expert.
Yeah.
Well, if you're out here, I'm sorry, but if you're going out and you're debating people and you're talking about subjects and you're debating something, you're an expert in that. Otherwise, you're not debating it.
Right. And I think that what Allegan is trying to say is just because he might not have the academic credentials doesn't mean he's not actually an historian. But he does come across as someone who just writes his own book reports, and he'll cherry pick from this thing or from that thing, and then present it in a platter that certainly seems to have an agenda behind the narrative. And then Tucker's like, "Oh my God, this is genius!" Yeah, it's just like, wow, really?
I think Jim might be right. He's talking about appeal to authority.
Yeah,
don't appeal to
I was an academia ever ready, and yeah, I have very little respect for most people who have doctorates. And yeah, Joe, we're using left terms like platforming. Are we using left terms like platforming? It's here's the thing. If you see his advertisement, it is platforming. It is platforming. It's not. That's not using a left term. There's no other term for it. This is, and this. You want to see an advertisement? I'll share it here at the risk of getting him an extra view or two, just because this commercial that he made was disturbing. This was a disturbing commercial, and the only thing you can call it is platforming.
Weird. We are honored to welcome back.
There it is.
Honored.
We're just, oh my God. I can't believe he agreed to come. Thank God.
The most august historian in America, a man of such immense gravity and wisdom.
Immense gravity and wisdom. And now look at how he pieces this thing together.
And inside, he makes Herodotus look like a TikTok influencer. The man, of course, is our friend
Daryl Cooper.
Derek Cooper, is it?
Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan.
He's billing it as this is someone who is hated by so many people. That's why we should like him. That is not someone who's looking to have an interview.
I thought this guy, Daryl Cooper, said he's not a historian.
Both are treating him like the best and most important
historian working in the United States.
Thinks he's an expert on Churchill.
Members of Congress and even the White House announced Tucker Carlson and Daryl Cooper.
The fact that in 2024 something like this becomes a huge hit online is a terrible indictment of American education.
Hated by all the right people for all the wrong reasons.
This is platforming. I understand you can tell me he's in marketing, he's got to sell it, but this is
promotion.
I know you can call it promotional, but that's he's proud of the fact that he's giving him a platform. That's what I mean. The nature of the promotion, there's a lot of ways you can promote something, but he's basically the nature of this type of promotion. The reason you should watch me is because I'm giving him a platform that no one else would. So I'm sorry, Allegan. On this one, I got to disagree with you. This is 100% platforming, and that's what the nature of the advertisement is, that you should watch him because he's hated by all the right people for all the wrong reasons. I'm giving him the platform. So, yeah, and I'm sorry. I was just like, today I unfollowed Tucker Carlson because I was just like, this guy, I'm sorry. That is platforming, and he's trying to get clicks, and I can't support that any longer. I'm not labeling Tucker as anything other than someone who now has his arc has crashed into someone who's desperately searching for clicks. And yeah, so I'm done there. But who knows? Everyone can have a redemption arc as well. And I hope that for everyone, that everyone who basically falls into the nadir, that they have their redemption arc. People have reasons for going where they end up. So free speech does not require platforming and canceling. If you don't like the speech, your answer is more speech, not things like platforming and canceling. He doesn't engage in more speech because supposedly this guy doesn't even debate people. So that's not more speech. And the point is calling him your friend and the most august historian, propping him up as if he's the most special person in this area. I'm sorry. I respectfully disagree with you. I have no problem with him interviewing him. I don't have a problem with that. That's not the problem.
I think all the guy does, if I'm not mistaken, I think all that Chris Cooper does is read books, like some books. It reads excerpts of books, but the books that he's reading, whose books are he reading? You know what I mean? It's like, what books is he reading from? That's the thing. He's like, there's millions of books printed. It doesn't mean they're nonfiction.
Or it also doesn't. And also the nature of how you approach it. The same way someone can come with a particular agenda when they want to approach politics. You can kind of basically come with a predetermined outcome. So too, if you have this guy who's coming with a predetermined outcome that Adolf is misjudged, and now how can I try to fit that into the next story I'm covering on him? So you want to call that the most august historian? That's not. I'm not saying the guy should be silenced, and I'm not even saying that Tucker shouldn't have him on. I'm simply saying that we're like putting him up there as the most significant person. I'm sorry, that's clicks. That's just clicks, and I think you know it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do review his interview and point out how he's wrong. Nah, I'm not going to waste the time on that. It's going to be an hour and a half long thing. I'm not doing it.
No, well, I'm not saying I have to approve the books to be legitimate. I'm saying I don't know what books that Daryl Cooper got his information from. That's all I'm saying is I don't know what history books he's using. Are they actually history books? Where is he getting this information from? He's reading all these different books supposedly, and where he comes up with this stuff, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's not books that I ever read, and not history I've ever learned in school. Or
yeah. Anyhow, I'm gonna land our plane over here. So put your trays in the upright lock position. Wheels are down. I'm going to remind you all to stay away from the lab meat. That is definitely meant for they, them. It's not meant for you. Also, do not eat the bugs. Just do not do it. I want to say thank you to Jim from Jim Tells You. Please make sure you head on over to Jim Tells You. He's still going now, right? You got this thing going now?
It's going now, yeah.
But if I shut down, you're going to end up.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, I'm going to end. I'm not going to stream any longer tonight. I'm going to. I went 5 hours last night.
I didn't put your link in the description, and that makes me feel bad.
I could do it real quick.
Yeah. So if you give me that real quick.
All right. I'll put it in private chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna start. Let me set that up so this way people who want to find you, and they should. Oh, you have your own intro.
Yeah, I have my own.
Your own thing.
My own spiel.
All right.
It's a spiel.
Oh, look at it. That's copied and pasted now. All right. That's my show. I'm sticking to it. I thank you all for joining me. I thank you especially, Jim, for helping me out.
Hey, no problem.
And
don't eat the bugs.
And yeah, I'm just going to conclude with this. Ignoring and saying platforming is weak. I didn't just say platforming. I explained to you why I call this platforming. Sounds like the left. You are wrong because I say so. No, I'm saying that it's not as if what he said in the past has. I brought up one example, the Churchill thing, and what I'm saying is no. I don't. The same way you could choose to consume it, I can choose to not consume it and say I know enough about this guy that I don't want to be around. I don't want to be around this anymore. It's not a matter of, and when I say that Tucker is platforming, I explained to you how I don't normally use that term, but given the nature of the commercial that he gave there, he's proud of the fact that he's giving him a platform. And you can agree or disagree with me, but yeah, but I can agree to disagree with you on this one, and that's okay. We're going to disagree. Every one of my listeners should probably disagree with me on something because we all have different perspectives. So I thank you all as always, and I say to you, have a great night and Godspeed.